Good evening and welcome to yet another episode of the Game of Two Halves podcast. Well, we are officially now in the off-season with the local league, the Geelong Region Grand Finals, having been played on the weekend just went by. All in all, it was a weekend of a feast of football, a feast of local football, and we are going to be covering that tonight and a lot more. Hello, my name is Tonchi Prusak. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you tonight, as it is every week. And indeed, tonight we've got a comprehensive look at all the grand finals, the junior boys, the junior girls, the senior women and the senior men's that was played over the weekend at three various venues. We had Myers Reserve on Saturday. We had Shell Road Reserve on Sunday for the junior boys, and we also had Hume Reserve home venue to the senior men, and there is going to be a lot of action later on, including some exclusive footage of the Division 1 men's and the Division 1 women's games, and also some exclusive post-match catch-ups or post-match interviews, if you like, right on the pitch, straight after the final whistle with some of the combatants. Some of them won, some of them lost, but the general consensus, particularly in local football circles, is just getting to the grand final is a big thing. How'd your team go? Did your team play on the weekend? Did they win? Did they lose? And how were you impressed or otherwise with your team's performance this year? Also, we'll probably have a little bit of a small look at what maybe could happen next year, what should happen next year to improve both the calibre of the competition here in Geelong, but also the competition structure. We're going to, first of all, take a very quick break. When we return, we will be looking at the junior NPL boys as well as the junior NPL girls and how their season finished up. There's also a little bit of news happening around the traps as well, involving some of the local clubs. And then later on in the show, we'll be looking at, as we said, the junior boys and junior girls local league grand finals, followed by the senior women's grand finals, and culminating with the senior men's. Folks, don't go away. It is the Game of Two Halves, powered by the Geelong Region Soccer Show and sponsored by our major sponsor for 2023, the Gordon. Here's a couple of words from our major sponsor.
Your future is in your hands. There is a whole world waiting for you, and your choices determine how you will impact it. At the Gordon, we recognise this. That's why we champion hands-on learning. Get your hands dirty. Grab what's in front of you. Learn by doing. Turn your passion, your ideas, and mould them into your creations. You'll be supported the entire way. You'll grow your skills in small classes, guided by teachers who are industry experts. You'll learn in state-of-the-art facilities or out in a real-world workplace setting. Your hands-on experience will increase your understanding and put you ahead of your university peers. You'll graduate work-ready, and you'll graduate sooner, with a huge range of qualifications to choose from and support services to enable your success. Now is the time to continue your learning journey. At the Gordon, your future is in your hands.
Welcome back to the Game of Two Halves podcast. And before we do look at some of the junior grand finals that were played, they'll be the first cab off the rank. Let's have a look at some of the news happening around the traps. And the Masso Cup is starting this weekend, in fact, this Friday. And Geelong Soccer Club will be representing the region. They will have teams in the senior means, the reserves. There will also be a veterans team as well. Not too sure if there is going to be a women's team. We will be talking about the Geelong Soccer Club's women's team a little bit later on, however. This is the Masso Cup, an annual Victorian Macedonian tournament, if you like, and a post-season cup. And there's the on pitch 1 this Friday night, in fact, on the 22nd of September, at 7:55 p.m, Altona Magic will be taking on Geelong. The following day, there's a lot of games being played. And like we said, there's a pitch 2, I think, where the reserves will be played. There's also the over 35s or the 45s, the veterans. But the senior team will also be in action again Saturday afternoon at 4:10 p.m. when they take on the President's 11. That's an interesting team. Maybe the Macedonia Altona Magic president has hand-picked a team of 11 players. That will be followed by another game at 6:20 p.m. when the Geelong Lions take on the Keilor Wolves. So there's still a lot of football happening post-season, if you like. I know North Geelong will also be trekking over to Adelaide the following weekend, which is the grand final weekend here in Victoria, for the Australian-Croatian soccer tournament as well. That's a massive event that's going to be held over in Adelaide. Geelong Galaxy United girls team, they've finished their season in the Junior Girls NPL competition. Let's have a look at how the season unfolded for the Geelong Galaxy team. Unfortunately, seemed to be overall a disappointing one on the field. But then what did happen was a lot of the girls were played up several age groups. And indeed, the seniors also blooded quite a few teenagers. So overall, as far as the developmental side of things, it certainly cannot be a bad thing. But certainly results-wise, things can improve. But let's have a look at the 2023 roll call for the junior girls. Junior Girls NPL outfit for Geelong Galaxy. In the under-13s, a 9-team competition saw the Galaxy finish in 5th position. In the under-15s, it was a 10-team competition. And unfortunately for the local girls, Geelong Galaxy finished in 10th spot. And then we had the under-17s, another 10-team competition. Galaxy ended up in 9th spot. So as we said, on face value, it may not have been a very good year on the field for Geelong Galaxy, but the fact that a lot of youngsters were played up, their age group, a lot of youngsters as well, were blooded at the very, very top level, and the senior team did very, very well this year. Then it certainly augurs well for the future. But girls football, women's football, we've talked quite a fair bit about it this year. It has to take the next step. It's becoming very popular at the participatory level, but now we just need at that elite development level the next step. With the emergence of a local girl in the A-League women's competition, Natalie Pichak, formerly of the Geelong Galaxy United Football Club, it certainly is an opportunity now to start the strategic planning for that elite side of things. Turning our attention now to the junior boys, and as we know, there are 2 junior boys NPL clubs in the region, North Geelong and Geelong. And let's have a look at the roll call for the 2023 season. First of all, in the what must be said is after the initial 11-game grading season, The North Geelong team qualified for Division 1 in every one of the 4 categories. Geelong, on the other hand, qualified for Division 3. So let's have a look at how the 2 teams fared this year upon the conclusion of the 22-game home and away season, which finished yesterday. In the under-14s, Division 1, North Geelong finished in 12th spot. Now, remembering all of these divisions have 12 teams, so that means, obviously, North Geelong finished as wooden spooners. In Division 3, Geelong finished in 4th position behind St Albans Saints, I believe. In the under-15s, North Geelong finished in a credible mid-table 6th position in Division 1. Geelong did outstandingly well and finished 2nd in Division 3. In the under-16s, North Geelong did very well and finished, in fact, equal first with Melbourne Victory, but by virtue of a far inferior goal difference, they finished in 2nd spot in Division 1. Well done to the under-16s at North Geelong. Geelong finished in 3rd position in Division 3. So all of their teams finished very, very high up in Division 3. So well done to the Lions there. In the under-18s competition, North Geelong finished in 7th position. And in Division 3, Geelong finished in 2nd spot. Now, like Galaxy, both North Geelong and Geelong did play a lot of their players up several age groups, and North Geelong, in fact, played quite a few of their under-18s in the under-21s, and some of them even managed to earn a senior cap. So fantastic achievement there. On face value, in some cases, it may not seem that the results were very good, although those results were quite outstanding. So that's the state of affairs as far as the junior boys and the junior girls NPL competitions. We're going to take a very, very short break. When we do return, it's time to look at the Geelong Region local scene. The Geelong Region, it doesn't really have a name. I tend to call it the Geelong Region League, but some call it the Sunday League, even though games are played on Saturday and on Friday. But pop in the comments section what you think the Geelong League should be called. Should it be called the Geelong Region Football League? Remember, it can't be the GFL because there is a competition already called that in the Aussie rules, but what should it be called? Should it be called something else? It used to be called the WVSA or the WVSL, but now it just does not seem to have an identity. Folks, when we return, we'll be looking at the Geelong Region junior boys and the junior girls grand finals played over the weekend.
Are you too busy running your own business to worry about your financials? Allow J Hill Books to focus on your books so you can focus on your core business. Based in Lara, Geelong, J Hill Books owner, operator and senior bookkeeper Judy Hill has always worked in finance administration. The world of cloud accounting, however, means that clients can be based anywhere within Australia. Currently, J Hill Books services clients from Lara, Geelong, the Bellarine Peninsula and Melbourne. You won't need to come home from working all day and start on paperwork. You can spend your time in other productive areas such as marketing or quoting, or even better, come home and switch off. You will know how your business is tracking as often as you need, whether that is on a weekly, monthly or quarterly basis. You can be satisfied that you are meeting your legal requirements to your staff and to the ATO. And deadlines will no longer be stressful for you. Let J Hill Books take the stress out of running a small business and allow you to enjoy watching your business go to the next level. For more information, visit our website at www.jhillbooks.com.au, or better yet, call us on 0402 469 243 or email us at info@jhillbooks.com.au.
Welcome back to the Game of Two Halves podcast powered by the Geelong Region Soccer Show. And what's in the name? Some people might say you can call it what you like, isn't that right, Beshko? But the reality is if a league, an organisation, a competition doesn't even have its own identity, how can anyone expect to take it seriously, be it the local media, be it the local football fraternity, even Football Victoria? And it's pretty disappointing, whether it's the Football Victoria competitions department, but ultimately the buck stops with them, that 24 hours after the completion of the grand final weekend, there are still results that have not been updated on the website. In fact, go to the website. What's the website? I mean, I've bookmarked the website, but there is actually, like, what's the name of the website? It used to be called www.ffvgeelong.com.au. Even back then, when FFV changed its name to Football Victoria, but it was still being called that. But that was the website. That was the domain. Now, I don't even know what it is. I just go straight to my bookmarks, unfortunately. I find that quite frustrating as someone who's trying to promote football here in the local region. And it just doesn't seem to be that the local football fraternity, let's call it for want of a better word, actually wants it to be promoted. Even in some of the comments, post-match comments over the weekend, they're referring to it as the Sunday League, and they're referring it to as pretty much an amateur competition. Well, then you're going to get amateur refereeing, you're going to get amateur grounds, you're going to get amateur setups, you're going to get amateur competition structures. Got the picture? Anyway, enough of the rant. Let's talk about what actually happened on the field. And at least there were some positives there as far as that is concerned. Maybe you don't agree with what I'm saying. Pop it in the comments section. But anyway, let's move along. The Junior Girls Grand Finals. Here's another thing, another anomaly, if you like. Is it the Under-12 League, the Under-12-13 League, the Under-13 League? Why not just call it the Under-13 League and call the girls the Under-14-15s League, the Under-15s League? I think it'd be so less confusing. But anyway, it is what it is, and maybe next year we can even have a new segment only in Geelong football. But anyway, moving along to the girls Under-12/Under-13s Grand Final. Corio defeated Surf Coast Blue after scores were locked 0-0 at full time. Corio won 3-2 on penalties. Well done to Corio. Now, this is a club, think back, folks, maybe 3-4 years ago, this club didn't even have juniors. They had absolutely no juniors. And now, in the space of 3 to 4 years, and the guys that are from Corio on the chats, please confirm, when did Corio start to field its first junior team? But there you go, they've already got premiers, they've already got grand final winners. So well done to Corio there. North Geelong Warriors, they defeated Surf Coast 2-1 in the Under-14, Under-15s grand final. And once again, congratulations to North Geelong. They've got a team in the Under-15 Metro and the 16 Metro as well. And a lot of these girls are probably old enough, or young enough, I should say, probably to play in an Under-12s team. Nonetheless, they did very, very well against another club that has been absolutely fantastic as far as girls football, women's football, Surf Coast. So it's great to see two clubs that are absolutely deserving of getting to the main dance, to the big dance, as they say, making it all the way to the grand final. So some good news as far as the junior girls is concerned. What about the junior boys? Let's move along to the junior boys. Well, let's start off with the Under-12 Wallabies and work our way up. The Breakwater Eagles, they defeated Corio. Once again, Corio getting to the grand final of the Under-12 Wallabies. Breakwater Eagles defeated Corio 3-1 on penalties after scores were locked at 0-0 after full time. In the Under-12 Kangaroos, Breakwater Eagles, yes, they did it again, and they defeated Surf Coast 1-0 in the grand final. Thanks to the Breakwater president, Jim Conta-Georges. I do have the name of the Breakwater Eagles goal scorer, Jamie McElroy. Certainly wasn't on the My Play, Sports Play, whatever it's called, website, the one with all the fixtures and results and all of that. In the boys Under-13s grand final, FC Leopold defeated Barn Blue 2-0. One of the youngest clubs in the region getting through to the grand final in the junior section, and that is another great achievement. Unfortunately, we don't know the scorer of those two FC Leopold goals. If there is anyone from FC Leopold who is aware of those goal scorers, please do pop it in. It's unfortunate that the lads in question aren't getting their name up in lights. But one thing about that we have to mention about the Under-12 and Under-13s league is This year, the Under-12 Wallabies League numbered 10 clubs, 10 teams. The Under-12 Kangas competition numbered 12 teams. That is absolutely outstanding in this post-pandemic era where we're still trying to recover from all the effects that COVID had on the local sporting industry. But hopefully that means that, we'll have a lot more teams in next year's Under-13 competition. This year's Under-13s competition numbered 8 teams. This is in the junior boys. So hopefully we'll at least hit double figures, if not enough to have 2 divisions in the junior boys. For those of you that can remember, probably wasn't 10 years ago, not even that we actually had 2 divisions in every single one of the boys' divisions. Hopefully we can get to that within the next few years. So some positive news, positive spin, that's for sure, without a doubt. If we then move along now to the Under-14s and the Under-16s Grand Finals, and look at that. Well done to Corio yet again in the Under-14s. They managed to get through to the Grand Final against Surfside Waves. And not only that, but they also ended up scoring a 2-0 win over Surfside Waves. Now, the goal scorers for the Corio side, Deniz Mulaim and Yusuf Hussaini. So congratulations to Corio. Like we said, only a few years ago, they didn't even have juniors at all. And that is an incredible achievement. So well done to everyone at Corio, and particularly to Slavko Pantalic, who is the junior coordinator. And as Veshko Bigovic says, Salami, the best junior coordinator. Thanks to Slavko Pantalic. Salami, says Santino Mamoni. The Corio Soccer Club fan group is in full voice on the chats tonight. So well done to Corio in the boys Under-14 winning the grand final. And look at that. In the boys Under-16s grand final, it was an all Bowen affair. Bowen Blue defeating Bowen White 1-0. Unfortunately, we don't know who scored. So if there is someone from Bowen that can let us in on who scored for Bowen Blue, that would be great to know. Even the social media platforms don't seem to be keeping up with all that. So clubs, if Football Victoria isn't going to do their job properly, at least you guys can. Let's have that as our New Year's resolution for 2024, that all clubs are across Geelong, across Victoria, across Geelong, do the very, very best when it comes to their social media. But there's a photo there of both Bowen teams after the game. So congratulations to Bowen Blue, but also congratulations to Bowen White for making it that far. So well done to you all. That brings us now to the end of the junior section. We're going to take a very, very short break. Look, when we do return, we'll be looking at the women's competition. That'll be the next kettle of fish that we'll be looking at later today. Straight after this short break. Welcome back to the Game of Two Halves. We're powering through tonight's show, and we'll be having a look at the women's finals. But first of all, let's turn our attention to the women's Division 2 finals. It was Corio Bay taking on Geelong Soccer Club, and these two sides met in the season decider at Myers Reserve on a very, very windy afternoon. Beautiful sunny conditions. Myers Reserve was absolutely sun-drenched on Saturday afternoon, but the wind absolutely played havoc with particularly the main game and also with the second game. And I guess as a result of the windy, squally conditions, if you like, it was a close game. But what most impressed me by this game was the crowd. It was a massive crowd. In fact, unfortunately, the main game, the Division 1 crowd, was probably one quarter, maybe 1/3 of the size of the Division 2 game. But both the Corio Bay and in particular the Geelong Soccer Club supporters came out in their droves to support the women. And as I said, it was a very close game. In the end, Corio Bay defeated Geelong Soccer Club 1 goal courtesy of a lone goal by Tara Woods in the 8th minute. Here we've got some post-match scenes from the celebrations, and also I caught up with triumphant Corio Bay coach Peter Duke straight after the game. Here's what they had to say.
Coach of the second division grand final, Peter Duke from Corio Bay, 1-0 winners over Geelong. Peter, you're telling me off air, first time in 13 years that Corio Bay has won the trophy. What a way to win it.
It was fantastic, mate. The girls, like the first year when we started, it was actually the first year we started, and I was assistant coach then, and it was just fantastic. Now they won it the first year. We sort of been waiting for 13 years to get back here. It's been hard work with the girls, and just been phenomenal, mate.
A tough game today, sorry. Always the rivals, but even sweeter to win.
My word, like, we beat them twice during the year, but they were always really close games. They were a really good squad. It was fantastic to play against them. And, respect to their coach and respect to their players.
There we go. That was the Division 2 grand final, and then it was time for the women's Division 1 grand final. Deakin Ducks secured the double crown when the minor premiers defeated Surf Coast 3-1 in the Geelong Region Women's Division 1 grand final on Saturday. At a windswept Myers reserve, the swirly and at times gusty wind made it difficult for both teams as they struggled to adapt in the first half. In the 20th minute, the windy conditions played a part in the first goal when a long back pass was fumbled by Surf Coast keeper April Williams, and Deakin striker Hannah Gordon was quick to pounce on the parried ball, sliding the ball into the back of the net for the opener. Parity was restored just before half-time when Jessica Mellon smashed the loose ball past Ducks keeper Ella Jadland from close range. The opening stages of the second half mirrored the first, with the gusty wind making free-flowing football extremely difficult. Once again, it was Deakin which adapted to the conditions better, when Megan Ryan latched onto a wonderful through ball in the 64th minute and managed to calmly slot the ball past Williams for the Ducks' second. Just 5 minutes later, Elizabeth Bowling secured the win for the Ducks, poking home a high ball in the goalmouth after the Coasters' defenders had failed to clear it.
I think a bit of relief and excitement.
Being in the grand final.
I think a bit of relief and excitement. We always know that when we play Surf Coast, it can go either way, and today it went our way. We played real hard. I'm super proud of the girls. They didn't give in. We came in at half time. We just knew if we didn't put the foot on the pedal from the get-go that they were going to take the advantage, but we got there first and we were able to stop our claim on the game.
Yeah, it was really hard, not only trying to get the ball up, but like you're just out of breath from the wind. It's really hard fighting against that. So the girls worked so hard, and it's just like I'm so proud of them fighting against it. A really tough game. Conditions
Didn't help. Tough game, tough opponents, but it was a new look side and you went all the way to the grand final. Must be a real just fulfilling kind of feeling at the end of the year being in the grand final.
I mean, just like this team is just like getting to them with the final is just, I mean, it's the greatest thing ever, and just to get here, like, it doesn't matter if we win. I'd love to win, of course, but to just get here and be like, we made it, and as a team, and just,
Congratulations to the Deakin Ducks. A fantastic achievement, a fantastic result. And also to Surf Coast for getting there. They done exceptionally well as well to get there. So as we saw, that was just a really excellent kind of attitude, I guess, to have. But where to now for the women's competition? We saw this year a 15-team league that was, and we discussed this on last week's show, and we have discussed it throughout the season. But hopefully, and it started off a mishmash of 15 teams all put together, the best playing the worst and what you're not. But in the end, I guess a little bit of, certainly at the halfway mark, there was some sort of order, some sort of sense restored. And we saw an 8-team Division 1 and a 7-team Division 2. And hopefully now going forward, we'll be able to keep some form of semblance of normality as well as far as the competition structures are concerned. No doubt next year there'll be more teams. There's even talk now that Breakwater Eagles will once again field a senior women's team for the first time in several years. I'm sure there are going to be other clubs as well that are particularly on the back of the huge success that was the Women's World Cup. I'm hearing that there's a women's competition that is going to be organised by the futsal competition here in Geelong after initially there wasn't going to be plans to do so. So obviously across the board there is that level of interest. So next year, if we can have some form of stability as far as the competition is concerned, the local competition, and that I'm talking about the competition structure, hopefully next year we will see an even better and more let's call it a more interesting competition in 2024 as far as the women is concerned. We're going to take a very, very short break, but in the meantime, have you got your thoughts about what 2024 should bring as far as the local Geelong Region Football League? What about a name? What about a name change? What's your suggestion for that? Folks, when we return, it's the last piece of tonight's puzzle of our special grand final edition of the the Game of Two Halves podcast, powered by the Geelong Region Soccer Show. We'll be looking at the senior men's competition. But before we do that, let's not forget our sponsors, the Gordon. They have been absolutely fantastic this year. And without the support of the Gordon towards the end of this year, we probably would not have seen the remainder of this season. So big shout out to everyone at the Gordon.
There is a whole world waiting for you, and your choices determine how you will impact it. At the Gordon, we recognise this. That's why we champion hands-on learning. Get your hands dirty and learn by doing in state-of-the-art facilities, guided by teachers who are industry experts. You'll graduate work ready, and you'll graduate sooner. Now is the time to continue your learning journey. At the Gordon, your future is in your hands.
Welcome back to the Game of Two Halves podcast, and let's quickly just recap the women's grand final. Deakin Ducks defeating Surf Coast 3-1 in Division 1. The goal scorers for Deakin Ducks: Hannah Gordon in the 18th minute, Megan Ryan in the 63rd, and Elizabeth Bowling in the 68th minute. Jessica Mellon scoring for Surf Coast in the 42nd minute. In Division 2, Corio Bay defeated Geelong Soccer Club 1-0. Tara Wood scoring in the 8th minute. Time now to turn our attention to the men's competition. And but before we do that, I did, just prior to the break, ask you what suggestions for next year. What can Football Victoria or the competitions department of Football Victoria take on board to make next year's competition more stable, more interesting, more marketable, whatever you want to describe. But Paul Dowling has a very good suggestion. Simple: enforced promotion and relegation. Absolutely. And he follows that up with another very smart suggestion: Football Victoria to police their own rules and not leave it to the clubs to police. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree there. Well, feel free to add your comment in the comment section of what you would like. Okay, let's turn our attention now to the men's competition. And first of all, let's have a look at Division 3. And Lara United did very well this year. They fielded 3 teams in the local competition, the local men's competition. So they had a bumper year, and hopefully they will have the similar amount, if not more, amount of teams coming from Lara Recreation Reserve in 2024. But in the Division 3 Grand Final, it was another close one. And that's what we want Grand Finals to be. We want Grand Finals to be closely fought affairs. And the men's Division 3 was certainly no exception. Sean Murphy scoring the only goal of the game in the 31st minute. Well done to Lara United. Now, Lara United's under-18 team, as a result of the fact that there was no under-18 competition this year, did play up, and they actually played in Division 2. There were 2 Lara teams that played this year. And in Division 2, they came up against the might of the Geelong Soccer Club. And they proved no match for them, but it was an excellent effort to get to where they did. And once again, this was a huge crowd, a massive crowd, boosted by the Geelong Soccer Club fans. A lot of fans turning up on force, both on Saturday to support the senior women's team, and then also on Sunday to support their local league team. Geelong Soccer Club winning 2 grand finals in 2 years. So hopefully we will see Geelong Soccer Club in Division 1 of the local competition next year. But a 3-0 win over Lara United. Goal scorers Steve Angelovsky scoring 2 and Todorce Vasiliev scoring 1. And that left the main game, the Division 1 Grand Final, Bell Park defeating Armstrong United. And we'll come back to that graphic after these exclusive match highlights and some post-match comments from members of both teams. Bell Park held off perennial bridesmaid Armstrong United to run out 3-2 winners in a thrilling Geelong Region Men's Division 1 Grand Final on Sunday night. Bell Park captain Mia Marinovic found the back of the net as early as the 3rd minute, but was ruled offside. It turned out to be a real game of 2 halves at Hume Reserve, with the All Whites firing on all cylinders in the first half before the Pelicans would mount a spirited comeback in the second half. Despite the early disappointment of the disallowed goal, the minor premiers didn't have to wait long for their next goal-scoring opportunity, Alex Smith finding the opener on 18 minutes. Smith doubled the All Whites lead in the 35th minute after poking home a high ball from close range. Armstrong United had their chances, but they were few and far between. Super sub Nicholas Romano scored Park's 3rd with his first touch of the game in the 38th minute. The goal gave the All Whites what seemed an unassailable 3-0 lead at the break. The Pelicans, however, had other ideas, and a completely different team came out all guns blazing in the opening stages of the second stanza. After soaking up some initial pressure from the All Whites, Armstrong United almost scored a goal against the run of play, only for one of their players to be brought down in the box. Cal Gerritsen converted the resultant penalty in the 50th minute to open United's account and provide some early hope for the Pelicans. Barely 5 minutes later, and Bell Park's Manalos Ferendinos copped a yellow card for an ill-timed tackle. From the resulting set piece, a second goal was scored by Gerritsen following an uncharacteristic mistake by veteran Park keeper Ange De Moro. The comeback further fueled the hopes of the vocal Pelicans supporters. The All Whites, meanwhile, started getting desperate when in attack and at times frustrated when defending. Thomas Orsulich was shown the yellow card in the 58th minute. Alex Smith copped a yellow in the 71st before Harris Vrbovac was also cautioned in the 85th minute. Nonetheless, the experienced All Whites were able to soak up the pressure and hold out for a memorable grand final win and exact some revenge on the team that had knocked it out of last year's finals.
Game, Cal Garretson, score of 2 goals for Armstrong United. A great fight back in the second half. Just wasn't to be, but all in all, a very successful season for you.
Yeah, that was a great season. All the fellas put in their yard and hard work, so it paid off, I guess, at the end of the year, making it this far. But 2 years now running, it's unlucky, so hopefully we're back here again next year, but couldn't be proud of the boys.
Yeah, the second half performance, though, really, really good compared to the first half. Yeah,
terrible, but second half, outstanding. Come out with the fight and eager for it, but couldn't be proud of really, but unfortunately we didn't get the win today. So.
We're very happy after a grand final win there, 3-2. Second half, a bit of a tense moment there, but you guys pulled through. How'd you see the game overall?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think we just got a bit shocked after half time and then come back in. And a bit all over the place, but we did the job, got the job done. That's all that matters. So yeah.
The first half, though, a brilliant performance, and that set you guys up. But pretty much the story of the season, you've led from the start and done really well, and this just sort of epitomises the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, just all year, the boys have put in effort, been all good all year, putting in effort, games, matches, training, everything, and it's good to celebrate.
Now, Lockie, you're a Bell Park boy through and through, coming up through the junior ranks into the senior ranks. How does it feel for you personally?
It's very special when you're a part of a club for so long and you get to win something with them, and it's unbelievable. So we'll enjoy this tonight. And,
Are you too busy running your own business to worry about your financials? Allow J Hill Books to focus on your books so you can focus on your core business. Based in Lara, Geelong, J Hill Books owner, operator and senior bookkeeper Judy Hill has always worked in finance administration. The world of cloud accounting, however, means that clients can be based anywhere within Australia. Currently, J Hill Books services clients from Lara, Geelong, the Bellarine Peninsula and Melbourne. You won't need to come home from working all day and start on paperwork. You can spend your time in other productive areas such as marketing or quoting, or even better, come home and switch off. You will know how your business is tracking as often as you need, whether that is on a weekly, monthly or quarterly basis. You can be satisfied that you are meeting your legal requirements to your staff and to the ATO. And deadlines will no longer be stressful for you. Let J Hill Books take the stress out of running a small business and allow you to enjoy watching your business go to the next level. For more information, visit our website at www.jhillbooks.com.au, or better yet, call us on 0402 469 243 or email us at info@jhillbooks.com.au.
Welcome back to the Game of Two Halves podcast. We're nearly at the end of this show. Big shout out to Alex Smith, the scorer of 2 goals for Bell Park's Bell Park's grand final, who is tuning in. I must apologise to him. He was actually very fast, Alec. He was so fast for the cameraman that the cameraman was unable to get his. He was unable to get footage of Alec Smith scoring both those goals. The cameraman apologises, as does the reporter, as does everyone. I think maybe next year all the clubs should actually help fund someone to stream the show or videotape it. Maybe the clubs themselves could also actually help doing that. It's a little bit of fun to finish the 2023 season off. Folks, over the next 2-3 weeks, we will finish this season in a magazine-style format where we'll be interviewing people and talking about the season that was, what needs to happen to improve this wonderful sport of ours. But all you need to do is just have a look at the social media. You'll just have to look at the local media as well, and you can see we need a lot of collective effort. By the way, I'm looking for a co-host for next season. It's very, very hard to talk on your own. So if you feel like you'd like to be a co-host on next year's Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast, feel free to drop me a line. Feel free to private message me via the Facebook page. Might even get you on one of our last 2 or 3 shows this year as a test run. Until then, folks, have a very, very good night, and hope you did enjoy the local football season. And for those of us that are married, what are we going to do now that there's no more winter sport? As one person said on the weekend, it's time to start talking to your wife. On that note, I think I better go off and start talking to my wife. Good night, folks. Enjoy the off season, but remember, we've still got a lot of local football coming up over the next 3 Mondays here on the Game of Two Halves podcast, powered by the Geelong Region Soccer Show and brought to you proudly by our major sponsor, the Gordon. Good night.